to my studio, well, actually my virtual studio. My name is Leo, and today's video is a little bit different from the videos I typically do. If you follow my channel, you know that I did videos about MIDI guitar or instructional video or videos about pedals or amplifiers. Well, after a year of reviews, I just want to make a video where I play all the gear that I love the most and that inspires me the most to write music. In the last years, the guitar world, in my opinion, has been blessed by a lot of very good stuff. MIDI controllers, for instance, have reached a level where you can pretty realistically imitate a wind instrument with a guitar. For instance, using the Euro guitar coupled with a tech control breath controller and a proper virtual instrument in your digital audio workstation, like I did in the song at the beginning of the video. We have reactive loads, like the Sur reactive load, with which we can record a guitar without miking it. We also have amp switcher, like the Ampete 88S, with which you can connect many amps, jumping from one to the other just pressing a button. We also have guitar pedals with pretty powerful DSP inside, with which you can simulate, for instance, a Benson Echo Rack, like with the Strymon Volante. And the Benson Echo Rack is a very expensive piece of gear. We have now low wattage amps like the Marshall SV20 or the Blackstar HT20R Mark II, with which you can have a great tone at a much lower price and in a much more convenient form factor than buying old 100 watts heads. We can buy guitars that recreate the magic of an old 60s vintage guitar, like my Sur Classic Antique S, at a pretty reasonable price in comparison with the original vintage, for instance, Fender guitar, which costs actually $10,000 or euros. So this video is just a song I did using all this great piece of gear in order to thank all these great builders for providing us with such inspiring piece of gear. And of course, in order to thank all of you guys for following my channel. Let's see together what I've used now in the song at the beginning of the video, and let's start with the MIDI controllers. Two of the most exciting gears of the last years, in my opinion, are the Euroc MIDI guitar and the Tech Control MIDI Breath and Byte controller version 2. These two controllers together give me the possibility to control virtual instruments in a pretty realistic way. Now let me do a quick demonstration of this controller paired with this virtual instrument. So here we are with two of my best MIDI controllers that are the Euroc guitar and the Tech Control MIDI Breath and Byte controller version 2. First of all, in the Euro guitar I have switched on the tap functionality, by which basically I just need to tap a string in order to have a sound. And then with this joystick in the Euro guitar I control the vibrato, and with the whammy bar obviously the pitch. And with the breath controller here I obviously control the breath and so the intensity and the volume of the note that I pick with the left hand. So according to the strength of the breath, the note goes up in volume and it stays as long as I continue to breathe. Now let's demonstrate also the vibrato functionalities using the joystick of the Euro guitar. And then the pitch control. Another aspect to point out of the Euro guitar is that still thanks to the tap functionality you can perform very convincing legato phrases. And also very convincing sweep picking phrases. So these two controllers are the best controllers in my opinion you can find in the market for us guitarists in order to control wind instrument, and even at a very reasonable price. If you want more details, you can check out my video about the Euro guitar and the tech controller breath controller in my channel. I leave a link in the description below. I've used 3 amps in the song at the beginning of the video. A Marshall SV20, which I have reviewed in my channel, for the lead tones coupled with the exotic soul driven. Then for the clean tone at the beginning of the video I've used a Blackstar HT20R Mark II that I've reviewed in my channel. And then for the jazzy tone I've used a Fender The Twin coupled with a Gibson ES175. All these amps are connected to an Ampete 88S amp switcher, so that I can select the amp I want to use just pressing a button, and this is quite a fantastic feature. I don't need to change the cables, but I just need to press a button and switch from one amp to the other. Then one output of the Ampete is going to a third reactive load, and here I've used a particular technique in order to record also the modulation and time-based effect. One output of the reactive load is going into the Millennium preamp, and then in the Lynx Aurora converter, and then in the computer. And this output carry basically just the guitar and amp signals. While the line out of the reactive load, of the third reactive load, is going into the Torpedo Cab M that simulate a speaker cabinet, and the output of the Torpedo Cab M is then going in a Seymour Duncan Catalina Chorus. The Catalina Chorus is a stereo pedal, so this chorus receives a mono signal from the Cab M, and with this pedal I obtain a stereo signal that is then feeding the Strymon Volante. The two outputs of the Strymon Volante are then going into my Lynx Aurora converter and then in the computer. So basically I'm recording 3 tracks, one with just the guitar and the amp, and the other 2 with the modulation and time-based effect. Then in the track with the amp and guitar signal only, I've loaded the Torpedo Wall of Sound plugin in my digital audio workstation in order to simulate a real guitar cabinet, while I have dedicated 2 other audio tracks in my digital audio workstation to record the signal coming from the time and modulation effects, the stereo signal actually. So I have 3 tracks, one with the amp and the guitar and with the Torpedo Wall of Sound plugin, and the other 2 with the modulation and time effect. In this way, basically, I can control the level of effects I want to use while mixing the song. And this setting gives me a lot of freedom, so I can adjust the level of the time and modulation effects while mixing according to the mix and to the effect I want to reach. As regards effect, I've used 2 pedals that I can tell you how much I love: the Seymour Duncan Catalina Chorus and the Strymon Volante. The Volante is a new addition to my pedal, and well, actually every time I play the guitar to it, it inspires me a new song, like the song at the beginning of the video, which has been inspired by this pedal. Let me show you the setting with which I use the Volante. Basically, I use 2 settings, one for the clean sounds of the Tele, and one for the lead tones of the third classic Antique S and of the ES175 and of the Gibson Les Paul. So we reached the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did it, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. It would be of a great help. And if you like the song at the beginning of the video, please search for Leo Gibson in all the streaming services in order to listen to it. Leave a thumb up and a comment about the gear I've used, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.